How you guys doing? We're mainly talking about the Cup Series at Richmond. In this one here, we'll touch on Xfinity at Road America, and we'll touch on trucks at Richmond as well. I just had a busy week, haven't been able to make the videos, but we'll be here for the live shows. We'll be here for the projections and everything. Probably going to play a little bit more this weekend than I have been about the last month or so. I mainly just want to get back into building more lineups, so that'll be fun. Setting money on fire. When we look at Richmond for the Cup Series this week, I'm looking at 4 races, and specifically the 4 races this year that we've been at. Looking at Phoenix, looking at Richmond, looking at Loudon, and I'll throw in Martinsville a little bit, but not primarily. Mainly just looking at those 3 racetracks this year. And when I just go ahead and look at the guys that I want to chase, I don't think it's very surprising. It's a very similar fashion to who I wanted to chase in the spring. And that's Martin Truex Jr., that's Kyle Larson, that's William Byron, that's Denny Hamlin. I will throw in Tyler Reddick, Harvick, Blaney as some drivers that I want to focus on, but primarily it's Hendrick and it's Joe Gibbs going toe-to-toe. I will say that, strangely enough, this is probably Kevin Harvick's best chance at getting a final win this year, because he's not going to do it at Phoenix. It's changed too much. But Harvick has had some pretty decent runs at Richmond as of late, and specifically in this package, okay? When we look at the start of the year, starts 15th at Phoenix, finishes 5th. When we look at Richmond, started 10th, had pretty decent speed, had a good pit strategy throughout the entire race. We get some yellows and stuff, but he still performed well. He finishes 5th at Richmond. And then he finishes 4th at Loudon a few races ago. And so, look, I think, as I said, I think this might be Harvick's best chance of collecting a win. When we look at pricing and how DraftKings is reflecting this, just this race in general with drivers, we see Harvick priced right at 10-1, which is being backed up by what we're seeing here. And which is really, really odd. I know the pricing isn't that wild and that crazy, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers in the 10K range here. Okay, and I understand last week I did the whole current form we went through and everything like that. I don't have the time to make a super long video. I kind of have to go through this quite fast today just because I'm short on time. I'm gonna say this. Okay, as we've talked about in the live shows, as we've talked about in the videos, this week is a week that I want to punt at the bottom of the salary cap. I don't give a shit if it's Ty Dillon. I don't give a shit if it's J.J. Yaley. I don't give a shit if it's B.J. McLeod. Whoever's the cheapest and starting farther back, or however you want to rearrange those words, the guy who's the cheapest starting farthest on back between those 3 guys, I'm going to play. And I'm probably going to try and get 2 of these punt plays in the majority of my lines. Not 2 in each individual line. Like I'm not going to double punt in these lines. But I want ownership to probably 2 of these 3 4K guys in lineups, just because you can fill the lineups out. This is a long race, and so you can punt at the bottom of the salary, so you can get multiple lap leaders, so you can get multiple guys who are going to be getting fast laps. And when we look at how these guys have been scoring, I cannot emphasize this enough. Let's go through Ty Dillon's last 7 races, okay? And all these prices are at 49 or below. Like last one was 48, last one was 46, 49, 48, 49. This is how many DraftKings points Ty Dillon has scored, okay? 19, 25, 32, 4, 12, 23, 25, 20, 40, 21, 24, negative 15, 45, 12, 32, 16, negative 3, 25, 17, 6, 15, negative 1, and 21. I know I originally said I was just going to look at the last 7, but we'll just look at all these guys real fast. Look at J.J. Yaley, who has been qualifying pretty decently inside the top 30, which is unfortunate for us fantasy-wise, but 18, 56, 13, 30, 47, 49, 31, 7, 61, 5, 6, 3, 25, 4, and 18. Okay, we look at B.J. McLeod, who is probably the better candidate for this weekend, punting at the bottom. Hopefully he doesn't qualify top 31. Hopefully he'll start anywhere from 32nd to 33rd. But 7, 11, 38, 22, 18, 12, 6, 44, 27, 6, 2, 13, 24, 15, 31. I understand this is including plate races, this is including road courses, this is including Wreckfest. But these drivers this year, with the volatility that NASCAR has been providing more and more, it's been amping up more and more, which is why I'm less and less interested in making a truck series video, and I'd rather just focus on live shows there because you guys are smart. You guys understand how these races are playing out. You have the data that you can find out there of how everybody's running and stuff. It's turned to a lot of Wreckfests there, Xfinity, and we've seen that with the Cup Series. So when we look at these punt plays at the bottom, specifically in a Richmond race, to where you want to chase as many lap leaders as possible, there's going to be multiple lap leaders, whether it's whenever cautions come out, whether it's how people are playing stages. Some guys are going to be chasing stage points. That's going to force them to go to the back of the field, entering the last third of the race, so on and so forth. We're going to have a lot of lap leaders. So Richmond, you want to try and nail all those lap leaders, and that'll primarily be indicated by starting position, pit stalls, practice speed, and current form at flat tracks and short tracks, and really being able to get the power off of the corners here, specifically turn 2. Turn 2 is very much a one-lane corner, and that is where a majority of the speed is found. If you fuck up the exit of turn 1, your 3 and 4 down the front straightaway is just destroyed. If you're slow down the back straightaway, you're going to be slower, or not slow, but if you don't have an optimal exit out of turn 1, you're not going to be at the maximum speed that you want to be at entering turn 3, and then that just kills you down the front straightaway. Okay, so being able to nail the exit of turn 1, which is a very tight corner, which is a corner that you do not want to be side by side on. The more laps you are side by side with people out of turn 2, that just lets people in front of you drive away. That's why we see the leader, as soon as they clear the guy, or as soon as they clear the second place guy out of turn 2, they pretty much pull away while everybody else gets side by side. And so when we're looking at practice, we want to look at the speed at the line. So that's why I like looking at speed at the line. We want to visually see who's able to get off of turn 1. And it's clearly just whoever's rotating. But this is what I look for when I look at Richmond races, and so on and so forth. And so I'm going to be punting at the bottom of the salary probably quite a lot this weekend, and mainly just because I haven't been doing that enough. I keep telling people to do it, but I've only been doing 1 to 4 lines these races. I need to just start fucking punting more. Anyway, Kyle Larson, Truex, Hamlin. Hey, those are the most expensive guys. Those are guys that I want to chase. Those guys that I want to play. As I said, Kevin Harvick showing some pretty decent speed, a pretty good average finish, average running position, and even a good amount of fast laps at these tracks as of late. He's looking at 4th in my model right now, and this is my high fancy. Let me sim these races. This is just what I'm looking at. He's 4th right now. We see Blaney, Chastain, Bell in there, William Byron, and those are mainly the people that I feel like we want to target. I understand that this video might not be in the same plane as quality-wise as my last week's video, but look, it's a short track. This is a situation, when we look at these Richmond races, let's really focus on this here. Let's go ahead and look at Richmond. We'll look at the last 3, okay, just the next gen Richmond races. So when we look at these races here, you see, look how many lap leaders we have. So this was in April of this year. Byron, Larson, have it. We have Bowman, who had the number 1 pit stall, who just didn't have the race speed, would constantly gain 3 to 4 positions in pit lane. He'd fucking fall back to 7th. He'd come out of pit lane in 3rd, fall back to 7th, go to 4th, fall back to 7th, on pit lane, go from 7th to 3rd, fall back to 5th. It was just how it was, but the pit stall was hugely important. But when we look at these, this is what I want to focus on, okay? Yes, William Byron started 24th, but the fucker had a fast car. Why would we not play William Byron at Richmond, okay? Larson, fast car. Why would we not play him, okay? when we look at who started second in this race, we had Kyle Busch showing no speed. Like, this is, I understand that. Qualifying indicated Alex Bowman and Kyle Busch. I will admit that I played a shitload of Alex Bowman earlier in the year. I was hoping them when pit stall would keep him out more. He didn't. Okay? But who were the fast cars entering this race? It was these individuals. It's these teams. Hendrick, Bowman just missed. That's just what it was. Bowman had an off day. We were wrong, or at least I was wrong on that one. But Hendrick and Joe Gibbs, who was the best, for fantasy points, for the way we build lines. We don't give a shit about true finishing position, okay? Because a lot of these are getting, bullshit green white checkers. There's been, the whole song and dance. If these races could go green, I'm not gonna build for chaos at the end of a race. I just struggle building that way. I'm gonna chase guys that are up there leading the race, getting fast laps. If they go to a green white checker and those guys get wrecked at the end, then so be it. But these are the individuals that I want to chase, and it's not because they performed this well in the spring. This is because this is how I'm viewing these guys when I look at these races this year, the short tracks. On top of just current form on general, who's been fastest in general, it's these guys, okay? So when we go back to the fall race, and we look at the amount of laps led that people had here, now this was a runaway by Joseph Logano, okay? But these 80 laps, these 55, these 22 are still important, okay? When we look at the spring race last year, we are having pretty much two guys that are going to be guaranteed lead laps, okay? But I would build with the idea of trying to chase, trying to nail these four guys in your lineups that can get fast laps, that can get laps led. Who is that probably going to be? Probably number one pit stall guy, which you should always play. Just because I don't mention pit stalls each and every week doesn't mean you disregard that, okay? Richmond is a track that pit stalls play a huge importance, whatever the thing was. Hey, get that fucking shitty match deposit ad off my fucking screen, dude. Man, fuck those match deposits for new users. I hate that shit. Anywho, pit road is huge here. Fuel strategy is huge here. I would be, as we get closer and closer to the playoffs, I would be very hesitant to play guys who are chasing stage points. And which we'll talk about it in the live shows. We have AJ, we have Bubba Wallace, we have Daniel Suarez. Those are just guys on top of my head. But if these guys are if there's individuals chasing stage points, I would be very hesitant on playing those guys because they can absolutely bury your day if they're chasing those stupid-ass stage points. And then they start, 23rd, 22nd in the final stage. It's going to be very difficult for them to move up through that field to get a top 10, to get a top 8, which is, where you want to be in terms of fantasy points scored and stuff. So going back to punting, going back to, hey, I want to play, hey, I believe Truex is probably going to be a pretty good car this week. I think, Larson, Byron, and Byron's 9-9. Why is Byron 9-9? You guys just, come on, man. I've been playing fucking Byron all year. Why is he not one of the most expensive guys? So if you do Byron, Truex, we'll throw in Hamlin, to cover a lot of good, to cover a pretty expensive build. I'll use Ty Dillon for this because he's the most expensive of the three guys in the back. I'll leave just 68.5 for your remaining two guys. These are the types of builds that I'm going to play. I'm going to be chasing laps led. I'm going to be chasing fast laps. That's the way I approach Richmond. That's the way I approach short tracks. In the past, I've had some pretty horrendous experience at short tracks. Maybe a bit of tunnel vision on certain guys. Done a lot better job last year and this year at expanding that player pool and not dreading and hating short tracks as much as I used to. So that's what I'm going to do is just try and just combine lineups. That's really all it is. It's Richmond, a lot of laps. As long as you can nail, at least, as long as you can see, realistically envision 300 of the 400 laps in this race in your lineup as laps led and fast laps, you're going to be pretty decent. Okay? That's my approach for the Cup Series. For the Truck Series, okay, now we're getting a bit, idiotic and stupid, okay? This series has gone down the toilet, okay? This is the cutoff bubble. This is the playoff the end of the regular season, the people who are going to be racing for the championship will be decided here at Richmond, which is just not fun for a fantasy aspect. These guys are already getting stupid as it is. Boys, I don't know if I want to be playing a lot of Truck Series stuff today. I don't know if I want to be playing a lot of Xfinity at this road. I'd much rather play the Xfinity Series at Road America than the Truck Series at Richmond, because you got a real chance of things getting real dumb this whole season in the Truck Series. It's just been the chalk and the better plays, not even necessarily all the chalk, but just been the better plays killing each other constantly. Whether it was at Texas, whether it was in the beginning of the year, whether it was at the end, that's just how it is. Who are the guys that you want to play? Who are the best trucks at short tracks that you want to play? Eckes, Corey Heim, Carson Hocevar, Ty Majeski, Nicholas Sanchez. Okay, who is most likely going to be involved in a wreck? Probably two of those guys that I just mentioned there. We have Matt Crafton, Stuart Friesen, Tanner Gray, Matt Benedetto, Nick Sanchez, all competing to get into the playoffs. Now, I believe Ty Majeski is locked in. Nicholas Sanchez misses out on the playoffs if he finishes dead last with no stage points. So, Nicholas can't afford to wreck. Past that, it's pretty much fair game for everybody. I got a feeling we're going to see some dumb shit happen in this Truck Series race. We're going to have some guys, like if you're Chase Purdy, might as well just stay on old tires. If there's like 4 to go, might as well try and get a win. Like this race just has trouble written all over it. And that's really my opinion there. We'll look at practice data and stuff in the live show, but I think this is a pretty rough state of affairs for this Truck Series contest, for this Truck Series slate. I'm a bit worried about that. When we look at the Xfinity Series at Road America, if I can pull this stuff up. When we look at Road America, it is the least amount of laps on the Xfinity Series schedule. 45 laps here at Road America. So what makes this what is the thing you want to chase the most here for the Xfinity Series at Road America? It is finishing position and place differential. Okay, so we're going to be paying attention to where these guys are at in terms of speed in practice. Okay, we're going to be looking at where these guys are in terms of qualifying. What happens in their qualifying run? Why do they qualify where they're at? Does somebody go off the track? Does somebody lock up a tire? Does somebody have a bad lap that sets them in? You know, if they're an 11th place car, with all data showing that they should be an 11th place car, okay, based on where they are in practice, based on where they are at previous road courses, okay, and they qualify 19th. Why is that? Did they mess the lap up in qualifying? Are we projecting them just not do well? Like, why? We need to specifically pay attention to why these guys and why certain people are not qualifying where they should either be at in qualifying or be at in terms of what their finishing position should be, okay? That's really it, okay? I know that sounds vague, but that's pretty it. We can only attack Road America post-qualifying, because then you have a good idea of who's going to be popular, who's going to be chalk, who's going to be a potential place differential play, who's going to compete for the win, so on and so forth. Also, AJ Allmendinger going to race Road America. Like, dude, go fuck yourself. Go back. Stay in Cup or stay in Xfinity. Come on. Don't roid rage because you either, get ran off the road. Maybe you win Road America. I don't know, but you still got to start at the back of the field on Sunday. What are you doing? Why are you pissing away a charter spot? Why are you pissing away all that money on your 16 car in the Cup Series to just start in the back on Sunday? You're unplayable fantasy-wise, so I don't give a shit about you, okay? Realistically, you're I don't know who it is. Is it Eckes? I don't remember who's No, it's Derek Kraus. Derek Kraus is practicing the 16 truck or the 16 Cup car. Oh, that's great. So what is he gonna qualify at? Fucking 27th, 29th. Okay, then you start in the back of the field like AJ. You're pretty much unplayable for Sunday. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, that's my main stuff I want to talk about. I apologize that this one is kind of more broken up. This presentation might be more convoluted than what I would prefer, but I've just had a really busy week. I got a lot of things going on. I've moved. I've pretty much left the weekend open, Friday open, so if you guys want to chit-chat, maybe I'll do a live show Friday as I'm like working with the projections, finishing things up. I might do that. Not really sure yet, but I will be live Saturday morning. I will be live Sunday morning, and you guys can hang out, pick my brain, and hopefully we can win some money. I'll see you guys then, and best of luck in all 4 of these races this weekend. F1 as well, Sunday. We can talk about it if you guys want in one of the live shows. If not, look, 4 slates on the table this weekend. A lot of potential for making some money. So yeah, whatever. See you guys later. Sorry, I'm super busy and stuff. See ya.